There is a gap between what I believe and what I see. Come fill that gap, please, Lord. I heard this quote from one of the ladies at my intercessions group, and it honestly just put everything in perspective. You know, when you find yourself living in immense blessings, watching the Lord move in your life, knowing that it definitely is the Lord that is moving in your life. And at the same time, while all of this is happening, life is throwing hands. You're going through either spiritual turmoil or it's just so many changes in your life that is so uncomfortable. You're shedding your skin and you're entering into this new skin, and it's just an uncomfortable space. That is literally what life is. And I'm realizing that the more I grow up is the more that I realize that that's how it's going to be for the rest of our lives.
If favor is on your life, I don't care what people throw you in, you will always rise to the top.
Amen.
There are some people in this room that have been to hell and back, but whatever they threw you in, you always rose to the top because the favor of God was on your life.
There's always going to be a time to praise and a time to mourn, a time to shout for joy and a time to cry in the corner, a time to leap from joy and a time to just stay in bed and want to cry. And it all makes sense. And it's like, how do we reconcile those two realities? A friend of mine was talking about how she feels bad for even entertaining the bad things that are going on because so much good is happening in her life, and I really resonated with that. And it's like, I don't want to complain because God is good, but at the same time I can't ignore the fact that life is throwing hands in this other area. How do I be truthful and vulnerable about both these areas of my life? It can only be through the Lord. He has to be that reconciling factor. He has to be that thing that is creating balance in the midst of these two sides. The other day, the Lord blessed me with a beautiful image of a seesaw. And He was showing me how on one side is all the good and on the other side is all the bad. And how He is that pivot in between the two sides of the seesaw that's keeping everything in balance to make sure that all the bad doesn't outweigh all of the good. He's the one that's reconciling everything, but He's also keeping you in a space where there's just harmony and balance so that you don't feel overwhelmed. He is that gap in between what I see and what I believe. I hope that listening to this, you also find that it's okay. It's okay to find yourself wrestling with God in certain aspects and then rejoicing in others. That's just how life is. That's how life is going to be for the rest of our lives. Like, there's always going to be a hurdle to jump over, a mountain to climb. And after you climb that mountain, you're going to be on top of it celebrating great stuff. And then you're going to realize it's another one. And that's just life. But God is in the middle of all of that. He's there for the praises and He's there for the cries. He's there for it all. He's in the middle of it all.